Hi guys, and welcome to my first album review. Before starting this review, I should probably say I'm a big fan of Blink-182 and Tom DeLonge.
Blink-182 are one of, if not my favourite bands of all time, so I was always going to be slightly biased when going into this review. I'm also a big fan of Angels and Airwaves, so again that also doesn't help.
But I'm going to be as honest as possible and not let my opinion of Blink-182 and Angels and Airwaves cloud my opinion in the review.
To the Stars Demo's Odds and Ends comes off the back of Tom DeLonge's departure from Blink-182. The album exists because he wanted to release the demos he had recorded for the next Blink record. Also on the album are Angels and Airwaves songs that either didn't make their previous albums or simply demos for later releases. There hasn't been much clarification on the origins of all the songs.
Before getting in depth with the songs on the album, I should probably say my proper opinion of the album as a whole. It's okay, that's really it.
Some of the songs are demos, so you always had to take that with a grain of salt. A lot of the songs were simply ideas that would have probably have been expanded upon more before being released officially.
That being said, a couple of the songs on the album seem really half-assed and lazy, but we'll get to those tracks when we get to them.
The first track on the album is New World, which was the first song released from the album and is probably one of the best tracks on it as well. The song is simple in its instrumentation, which I think really benefits the song well. Recently Tom DeLonge has started to become very electronic heavy and some of his songs have sounded a little overproduced almost.
I like how this one is a bit more stripped back. In fact, it reminds me a lot of the Dogs Eating Dogs EP by Blink. In fact, the explosive intro to the song also reminds me very much of the song Dogs Eating Dogs.
The song has a catchy chorus and it's very fun. Definitely Blink-esque, and I'd be very surprised if it wasn't a Blink demo. Lyrically, it's one of the strongest songs on the album. The lyrics are obviously about the situation with him and Blink-182, meaning that although the instrumentation may have come about before, the lyrics are quite new. I like the melodies on the song, and Tom DeLonge's voice sounds quite strong on it. Of course, my biggest problem with his voice on not just this song, but all of his songs since Angels and Airwaves' I Empire is he slurs his words sometimes, and his weird Californian surfer accent makes some of the lyrics hard to understand. This was a big problem of the most recent Angels and Airwaves album, The Dreamwalker. The difference on that album and this album being that the vocals were kind of quiet in the mix, they were even harder to understand.
New World is a fun song. I'd be lying if I said it was perfect or even one of Tom DeLonge's best songs, but for what it is, it's decent enough.
Track 2 is An Endless Summer, which is another one of my favourite songs off the album. The song starts off with a weird intro that's very synth heavy and has filtered vocals.
I don't really like this part of the song, but when it picks up, it gets really good.
This song isn't as simple as New World. There are multiple guitar parts and synth parts in it. Tom's voice sounds much better in this song than in New World. In New World his voice sounded very slurred and was hard to understand at times, but in An Endless Summer it sounds fine. Not quite early Blink, but still better than say something like Angels and Airwaves' Love albums.
The song sounds almost like a combination of some of the sounds from Neighborhoods, Dogs Eating Dogs and Dreamwalker combined into one.
The chorus for me is the strongest part of the song. It's catchy and powerful. The verse was good, but the chorus is much better. Lyrically, the song isn't great. When you compare this song to The Dreamwalker, which dealt with some very dark and mature themes, this song just sounds almost childish in a way.
Tom DeLonge is singing about being 16 and trying to get laid during summer. I mean, it would have worked maybe about 10-15 years ago, maybe a bit more than that, but now it just doesn't. It seems kind of awkward, like a almost 40-year-old man singing about being young. I mean, it would be a bit better if it was done in sort of a nostalgic way, sort of like the song Pretty Little Girl from the Dogs Eating Dogs EP, but it isn't, so at times lyrically it seems a bit awkward almost.
Other than that, I really like it. Track 3 is Suburban Kings, a song that I really want to like, but the song for me just kind of falls short. The instrumentation is really good. I have no doubt that this is an Angels and Airwaves song. Very electronic, no guitars until the pre-chorus. Lyrically, the song is just like Rite of Spring from I Empire. The song tells the story of Tom DeLonge and being a teenager who got kicked out of high school and started Blink-182.
Lyrically, the song is awful. It has some of the worst lyrics of Tom DeLonge's career, and that's really what ruins it for me.
It's a catchy song, it's not terrible to listen to.
I can listen to it fine and find something to enjoy out of it, but for me, it just is not a great song. The lyrics really ruin it and make it much worse than it could be.
Tom DeLonge's voice sounds awful. He slurs his words too much. The melodies aren't great, and I cannot stand the pre-chorus mainly because it sounds way too much like stuff he's done before in other songs.
It's possibly the least original song on the album. I mean, he's ripped off himself before, ripped off riffs, melodies and stuff like that. But this song sounds so much like so many other songs he's done, it just becomes really forgettable.
Out of all the songs on the album, this was one of the ones that I don't see myself going back to and enjoying for years to come. It's going to be that one that plays and I always skip it.
All in all, it's not terrible, it's just kind of bland.
Track 4 is an acoustic song called The Invisible Parade, without a doubt my favourite song on the album. I love acoustic songs anyway, and I feel like Tom DeLonge is really good at writing them. One of my favourite songs off of The Dreamwalker was the song Anomaly, a simple, stripped back acoustic song.
Tom DeLonge's voice, although you may not think it would, actually suits acoustic songs really well. He doesn't have to put much power into it, so he can sing softly and he can put a lot more passion into his voice, and it works, and his voice really works on this song.
The song is an emotional song all about his brother who served in Iraq. The simpleness of the song is really what makes it stand out compared to the other songs. It's simply Tom DeLonge and an acoustic guitar. Nothing flashy, no drums, no synths, it's just simple and it really works. Lyrically, it's the strongest song on the album. There are no stupid lyrics like in Suburban Kings, there are no simple lyrics that are also really stupid like in Golden Showers and the Golden State. It's a very poetic song and it's beautifully written.
Not just the best song on the album, but possibly one of the best songs Tom DeLonge's ever written.
Track 5 is Circle Jerk Pit, a 2-minute fast hardcore punk song. The song instantly draws comparison to Boxcar Racer's My First Punk song, and it's very similar. But I honestly think that this song may actually be a little bit better. The song is fast, exciting and angry, but yet still has a lot of melody in it. Lyrically, it's most likely about the Blink situation, at least that's what I get from it, but it's well written.
Not really much else I can say about this song except I like it.
Track 6 is Landscapes, which may be the worst song on the album. It's just worthless filler. It's a 2-minute all-electronic instrumental. It sounds like the intro to an Angels and Airwaves song, and if it was an intro to a song, it could be good. It reminds me a lot of the instrumental tracks from I Empire and the Love albums, the tracks in between songs that do a good job of tying two tracks together, but by themselves are nothing special, and that's pretty much my opinion on Landscapes.
It's nothing special, so I just don't like it.
Can't hide. I can run, but I can't hide.
Track 7 is Animals, possibly the most experimental song of Tom DeLonge's entire career. When I first listened to this song, I hated it. I thought it was too weird, the chord progression was just too unappealing. The song has a very creepy, kind of evil undertone to it, and when I first heard it I was just completely put off. But it's really grown on me and now I think it's a very strong track. The song starts off with an almost folk sort of sound, but it then gets electronic and becomes very weird. The bass sounds awesome during the verses and does a great job of really driving the song.
It's a hard song to describe, but I definitely recommend listening to it and go in with an open mind.
Track 8 is Golden Showers in the Golden State. Let's start off with what I like about the song.
The song sounds like Blink-182, and I mean like late 90s, early 2000s era Blink-182, possibly my favourite time for the band.
It's pure pop punk, something that Tom DeLonge has not done since Blink's self-titled album.
This return to roots I did not expect, but I definitely appreciate it.
The intro riff is really good, the drums, especially underneath, I just absolutely love the intro.
However, the pre-verse is where things start to go downhill.
This riff is just a complete rip-off of Dumpweed / Natives. Those songs already had very similar riffs, but this one just essentially makes them sound even more alike than before. The riff is completely unimaginative. The lyrics are akin to the joke songs from Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. The first 2 lines talk about dicks, the second verse has lines about being shat and pissed on. The lyrics are stupid, which I think is a strong point for the song, but also the downfall of the song. The instrumentation would have really worked for a Blink song, and it would have been a great return to roots for the band. But lyrically, both Tom DeLonge and Mark Hoppus have come a long way from writing songs about fucking dogs.
The lyrics are awful, just stupid and juvenile, which I didn't think would be something I'd complain about Tom DeLonge's lyrics. I mean, when you're in your late teens, early 20s, the sort of lyrics in this song are stuff you can get away with, but he's not that age anymore, he's grown up. His songs have matured, so when he does something like this, it's a huge step back. And for me, the instrumentation had so much potential to be a fun, upbeat pop punk song that the stupid, almost disgusting lyrics of the, no, not almost, definitely disgusting lyrics of the song kind of ruin it.
The chorus is awful, literally the worst thing Tom DeLonge has ever written. It's essentially him saying California over and over again. It's laziness at its worst.
We fucking California! Yes, we get that you fucking California, Tom, you don't have to tell us 5 times.
The word California is repeated 19 times, and it's quite a short song as well, at just over 2.5 minutes long.
For me, this song had so much wasted potential.
It's incredibly catchy and kind of fun, but lyrically is some of the worst songwriting I've ever heard.
This is California.
Overall, my opinion on To The Stars demo's odds and ends is very mixed.
Some of the songs on the album are fantastic and definitely worth listening to, but some are just awful. Due to the fact that the album is only 8 tracks long though, the ratio between the two becomes very slanted and it ruins my overall feeling on the album. The instrumentation all really works, the drum work from Brooks Wackerman is all fantastic on the album, especially in Golden Showers and The Golden State. The melodies for the most part are all really good as well. The songs that are good are the ones that really could have made for a fantastic Blink-182 album. However, lyrically the album only really has a couple of strong points. The lyrics sound very rushed and lazy, and they as a whole kind of make the whole experience of listening to the album that much more unpleasant.
But I'd be lying if I said I didn't somewhat enjoy the album.
It's far from terrible. I've heard much worse albums in my life, but I was definitely disappointed. I paid quite a bit of money to get it on CD, and I definitely feel it wasn't worth it at all. £15 for an album that isn't that good and comes on a shitty cardboard sleeve? Yeah, I have a right to feel a bit ripped off.
The songs on the album that are good are really good, but for me, the song has too many weak moments that kind of just ruins the rest of the album. But there are some really good moments on there. My 4th standout track would probably be New World and Endless Summer, The Invisible Parade and Circle Jerk Pit. So yeah, that's my opinion of this album. I'd give it a 7 out of 10, maybe a bit lower, maybe a 6.5 out of 10. It's okay, but nothing special and definitely a bit of a disappointment. So that's the end of my first album review. I'm planning on doing a lot more of these, so stay tuned for them. So yeah, thanks for watching.
California.